Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In particular, welcome to everyone who's new to the channel. We've been kind of blessed by the YouTube algorithm here over the last several days. It's been honestly kind of overwhelming to see everyone commenting in the video comment section and in the Discord and participating in every other way. So I've been kind of overwhelmed to see that. It's very validating to know that a lot of you are enjoying the content. So with that understood, let's get into more of it. The play-in event, Explorer play-in event on Arena just happened over the last weekend, and I was flipping through Firechase's Twitter looking for a deck to play for you all, and I came across this mono green Stompy deck. And it's a different approach to mono green than we've seen in recent memory. The mono green decks in Standard have mostly been built to be super resilient, almost tempo decks. You land an early threat and you protect it with things like Snakeskin Veil. That's not what this deck tries to do. This deck tries to just dominate the board with beef in the traditional way that mono green has always done. So one of the main characteristics of the format right now is that most people in Explorer are playing Rakdos of some variety, which means that most of the removal in the format is either damage based. So your spells that do 2, maybe 3 damage. Or it's Fatal Push, which only hits early 1 and 2 drop spells. So if you can get a Llanowar Elf down on turn 1, and then land an Old Growth Troll on turn 2, or a Steel Leaf Champion on turn 2, it's very possible that the opponent will just not have a good way to remove it. And not only will they not have great ways to remove them, they don't always have great ways to block them either. So one of the main advantages of Steel Leaf Champion is that Jund Food is a popular deck in the format right now. That normally has a great matchup against creatures because it can block things with the cat oven combo, and you can never get through. Steel Leaf Champion doesn't give a shit about any small cats. It will just bulldoze through them for 5 damage on turn 3, which is an enormous amount of damage. So we also have, to be able to capitalize on the high beefy creatures, we have 4 copies of Werewolf Pack Leader to draw cards. We have 4 copies of main deck Scavenging Ooze to deal with Greasefang. And against other creature decks, we have 4 copies of Primal Might, which basically turns your creatures into weaponized removal spells. And we also have, in the sideboard as well, 2 more copies of Ram Through as well, which plays well with the trample cards in the deck. We can kind of get sneaky lethals with a bunch of face damage from that. So a lot of these cards are pretty straightforward. I do want to call out Resilient Kenra. This is a pretty interesting combat trick when combined with Collected Company. So you can, if you can attack for less than lethal, the opponent might block in a way that doesn't assume Resilient Kenra exists. You can flash it into play with Collected Company and push through the last few points of damage that way. Also plays super well with Pelt Collector. You can when it comes into play, it pumps Pelt Collector. It can pump another creature, and if that creature trades off or dies, then the Pelt Collector gets pumped again. This is a pretty brutal deck. Just know that you are usually the beatdown, and that you should play as such. You don't always have the luxury of playing around enemy counterspells. You don't always have the luxury of playing around things like Jwari Disruption. It's just your job to get on the board as quickly as you possibly can and destroy the opponent before they have a chance to stabilize. Okay. In the sideboard, we have basically what you'd expect. There's just a few callouts. Only 1 copy of Tamiyo Safekeeping. Probably better, or we have 2 copies of Tamiyo Safekeeping. Good against, targeted removal spells. 2 copies of Shaper's Sanctuary, which are all-stars. These are outstanding against targeted removal spells. They're outstanding against opposing Mayhem Devils. They're outstanding against Binding the Old Gods, Portable Holes. Anything that targets your creature in a 1-for-1 manner, you get to draw a card off of it right away. You can grind out decks very quickly with this, and not all decks run answers to the Shaper Sanctuary enchantment itself, so that's pretty great. Questing Beast is an excellent answer in a format that is dominated by Wandering Emperor. So if you run into like blue-white control and you attack with Questing Beast, if the opponent flashes in the Wandering Emperor, the Samurai that the Wandering Emperor creates can't block the Questing Beast, and the Questing Beast will deal 4 damage to the Wandering Emperor, even though it came in after targets were declared, because that's what happens when it deals the face damage. So Questing Beast, great way to neuter enemy planeswalkers, in particular the Wandering Emperor. 2 copies of Unlicensed Tourist deal well with Greasefang. And 2 copies of Crawl Harpooner. Angels exist in the meta, and being able to kill a Righteous Valkyrie is incredibly important, as well as Corvold as well. You can, if you're playing against Gen Food and you have a grindy game that's goes down to the wire, it can be pretty. You can have a graveyard that's full of stuff, and the Crawl Harpooner will be able to kill even a very large Corvold under those circumstances. So, an important card in that matchup as well. So, I'm very interested to see how this deck performs. Let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. Pretty good opening hand. Llanowar Elf into Old Growth Troll. It does mean that the Pelt Collector's unlikely to grow, but I think we're just okay with this. Turn 2 Old Growth Troll in the play is pretty great. Especially with Primamite to back it up to force through some early beats. Mountain is kind of exactly what we like to see. Mountain and not killing the Llanowar Elf is pretty great. I guess that probably means we're actually up against Rakdos. But even in that case, this feels pretty good. Because Mono Red would have a way on 1 to kill Llanowar Elves, probably. So I'm guessing Rakdos? Nope. Okay. Alright, alright. So probably Mono Red. In that case, this matchup seems obscene. We'll bring in the Shaper Sanctuaries, we'll bring in the Great Henge. Don't think I'm interested in Questing Beast. Don't think I want Ronus. The 2 toughness creatures concern me a little because they run afoul of Bone Crusher Giant, but Scavenging Ooze is pretty good if we can just play around them. 2 more cuts. Probably just cut 2 Scavenging Oozes in that case. The Kenra's not super great either, but we can Eternalize it, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1 if they kill it. Sure. We don't know that they're mono red, but if they are, this feels pretty good. Could also Tamiyo Safekeeping as well. In fact, you know what? I think I would rather have the Tamiyo Safekeepings than the Oozes. Let's do that. We don't have the big beefy boy yet, but we still have Llanowar Elves on 1. We have a couple Cocos, we have Pelt Collectors. Our board can get beefy pretty quick. Opponent mulled. It's nice to see. Den of the Bugbear. Indeed, it is mono red. So we get to Llanowar Elves into Pelt Collector plus Pack Leader next turn if the elves are unanswered. That feels pretty good. Robber, okay. They hit Old Growth Troll, irritating. But we do have Pack Leader, which feels outstanding. And our Pelt Collector is going to grow. If they kill the Pack Leader, the Pelt Collector will grow again. So it might be hard for them to cast that Old Growth Troll. And even if they do, they don't have forests, which is what makes the Old Growth Troll good. And next turn, if the elves don't die, we'll also have company. A Braid on the Pelt Collector. Okay. So one imagines that there's like a 1-mana burn spell here to deal with the Pack Leader, but I think we're okay with that. If you've got it, then show me. They don't got it. Ladies and gentlemen, they don't got it. And we're going to make the most obvious play you can ever make in a game of Magic. Attack with everything except the Llanowar Elves on turn 3, say go. What could it possibly be? Lightning Strike? I don't think we have anything that can save Pack Leader. But if we hit another Pelt Collector, then we want it in play when the leader dies, so the Pelt Collector grows. Anyway, yeah, that matchup feels really, really good. 1-0. On to the next one. This is a slow hand to keep on the draw. Against a random unknown deck. I think this is a mull. I don't think we can wait till turn 3 to make a play with an aggro deck on the draw. This is much, much better. Keep this. And we have a couple draws to find our third land, so I don't think it's too greedy to put the snow-covered forest on the bottom. We can have a 1-2-3 curve here. Irrigated farmland. Okay. So blue-white control most likely. We have not found our land yet. They could have like Censor or Jwari Disruption. If they do, then I would rather play the Scavenging Ooze into it. Scavenging Ooze also allows us to grow the Pelt Collector a second time the following turn with the Pack Leader, but we already have the Old Growth Troll to achieve that. I think we just have to play the Pack Leader here. And if they have Jwari Disruption, so be it. Okay. And if they have a kill spell for the Pack Leader, then that's just food for the Ooze later. Just another reason to do it in this order. And if they don't have it... Oh, this is great. So this is a 2-for-1. They exiled a Veto. It probably was not a good card in the matchup anyway. This also means that they probably think that they need time. Like they don't have a sweeper in hand. Unfortunately, we stumble on land, which is awkward. So maybe I should not have bottomed that forest, but I really do think that we would have... we're probably supposed to do that. They could have March number 3. There was a stick there with 1 white available. Oh boy. This is an unfortunate run out. Sure. Opponent's also short on cards. We could crack this clue, try to hit our land drop, but I think I'd much rather play the Llanowar Elves. Maybe I'm not supposed to, given that we have the read of March for the opponent. We have 4 mana available, but only 3 things to cast. So let's just play the elf. Let's just attack with the elves. And the question now is, what do we play? I think Old Growth Troll plays best against a Wrath, so I think that means that's what we're supposed to play right now. Because, well, Memory Deluge is probably going to find a Wrath. They snap that off pretty quick. Shock in. March the 3rd. Find Primal Might, which is obviously not ideal. I think the same logic applies. We'll attack with the Old Growth Troll. Or we'll play the Old Growth Troll. Attack with the Elves. I guess I should have done this in the other order, because if they have Jwari Disruption or something, or Censor, then I would have wanted to pay with the Elves, so that's my mistake. And here we're probably just Steel Leaf Champion, hold up the clue activation. Absorb, yeah. Sure. Yeah, I feel like there were 2 big mistakes made, maybe. Like, playing into the Censor was a mistake. Putting the land to the bottom in our opening hand was possibly a mistake. Alright, we have 6 mana. They're going to Memory Deluge. I think we just have to go for it. I want the Troll to resolve because their answer to the Troll is probably... their answer to this board is going to be a board wipe, and I want the Troll around. Yeah. Opponent's hand has not been super good, which is the only reason we're still in this at all. It's kind of funny, they've had no field of ruin targets all game. Farewell's pretty good. And now we're drawing the lands. Okay. Do I scoop here? They shock in. Yeah, we scoop here. Whatever. Counter me. I feel like there's no sequence that wins this game. And given that we're making YouTube content, I'm probably supposed to just scoop the games that don't have paths to victory. So we'll just scoop that up. We do get to bring in Tamio Safekeeping. We get to take out our fight spells. Great Henge seems decent against them. Questing Beast is pretty good against their Planeswalker plan. They do have Memory Deluges, so Scavenging Ooze is not awful. But it's definitely very slow. Shaper Sanctuary, I think, is pretty reasonable against them as well, given the given how important March and Fateful Absence are to their game plan. So I think I'm down to do that, and I think I am fine not playing any oozes and bringing in the extra Questing Beast because the haste threat is relevant against their sweepers. So we'll try this. On the play with a passable opening hand. Still only 2 lands. If we don't draw the third, then we're in some trouble. We are like 65% to draw a land by turn 3. And even if not, then we're likely to find a 2-drop that makes the Pel Collector a threat. All right, I don't love it, but I think we keep. Yeah, there's the land. Easy. We also have safekeeping available. Find Llanowar Elves. So we know they run Censor. Running one of our 3-drops into Censor feels pretty bad. So the question is, do we play into the Censor, or do we play like Llanowar Elves, hold up safekeeping, and then next turn play the like Steel Leaf Champion or something around that? It could just have March as well. If they don't have Censor, then the upside of playing this is just so high, and we have the Old Growth Troll as well. All right, I'm going to play this. We're the beatdown. I don't think we can take a turn off to play the Llanowar Elves, and it does resolve. Okay. Definitely glad we did that then. These are big, chonky Pel collecting boys. So now it seems likely that they have, like, Absorb or something, right? Otherwise, what did they keep? So now I think is the time to play Llanowar Elves hold up safekeeping. Don't give them a great Absorb target. Because now we have 2/2/2 beaters, which are much bigger threats than the 1/1s before. Now we have enough pressure to be able to play around the removal, or around the counterspell. So 5 mana available. Probably, once again, okay to play the Steel Leaf Champion attack, because if they have Wandering Emperor, safekeeping just absolutely blows it out, and if they absorb, then we still have safekeeping available, and we'll have Old Growth Troll next turn. Ronus won't grow yet. Yeah, okay. And I think I'm tapping the Llanowar Elves because I don't want them to have the option to remove it to force my hand about casting a spell. But I do feel like Absorb is coming. Saw it coming is coming, okay. That is fine. Go to 7. Safekeeping is up. Find Old Growth Troll the second. Let's try again. This time I don't think I want the to attack with the elves, or to tap the elves, because it represents lethal, because these will grow to 6 power total. Saw it coming is fine. Fateful Absence. We can just let this go. Plays around a board wipe. We get a clue. They go to 4 anyway. We have an Old Growth Troll coming to pump the other Bell Collector. I think we let this go. We find Pack Leader, which is pretty nice, honestly. So Pack Leader grows the Bell Collector in the same way. They could have Settle the Wreckage. If they have Settle the Wreckage, at least we have a Pack Leader in play next turn. Swing for lethal. So now I think we crack this clue. Because I don't want to lose this mana. I definitely want to draw, and I also want to hold up safekeeping. Wandering Emperor, sure. Wandering Emperor targets. And you're dead. Nice. Because they don't gain the life. They would have needed to make the 2/2 instead with the Wandering Emperor. That would have been a slightly safer play. We drew Coco anyway. That would have been nice. Okay. I think that sideboard plan was pretty good. I don't see a good reason to change it. Yeah, love this. Let's do it. On the draw, opponent mulls. We have Pack Leader into Steel Leaf Champion into Company or Coco. We're never throwing that back. It's possible that the opponent's hand will line up exactly right, but they did mull. We're going to make them have that. Safekeeping also quite good. Yep. And if you have Censor, you have Censor. We're just going to keep playing threats. Sure. They have Absorb mana available. We don't care. They untap without killing the Steel Leaf Champion. So it does feel like Wandering Emperor. If it's Wandering Emperor and we attack... Yeah, I think what we want to do here is we want to attack, force out the Wandering Emperor. They mine us on the Steel Leaf Champion. We safekeeping. We slam Ronus. Ronus is indestructible if they try to wipe the board, and then next turn we'll have the Questing Beast, which will allow it to attack. Could have also attacked with Questing Beast, and then if they play the Wandering Emperor, when the Questing Beast... Questing Beast is Vigilance, it can't be hit by... Oh, this is great. Does that change our play? Interesting. I think we play this. And if you counter it... That's interesting. Yeah, we're going to take that, and we are going to put it on top. Steel Leaf Champion will die, but we get a clue, and now we get to play the Ronus, which will be able to attack next turn once we play the Questing Beast. And we have safekeeping available for any shenanigans. You could also play company. That would go slower if they have another Wandering Emperor. But if they have another Wandering Emperor, like the Wandering Emperor is their best answer to the Ronus, right? They could have March if they do, so be it. If they counter the Questing Beast again, that just means the Coco is more likely to resolve on a future turn. Let's play the Questing Beast. It has to be a counterspell here. If it's not, then we're overwhelmingly ahead. Sure. Combat. Hit you for 9. And they know we have this Tameo safekeeping available. What they don't know is that we have company as well. Farewell would wipe the entire board. So that's pretty good. Maybe that was a reason to play company instead. But now we know company's going to resolve. We again have safekeeping, so let's just run it back. Old Growth Troll Steelleaf Champion seems pretty good to me. That's lethal next turn. You got another one? It needs to basically be precisely Farewell. I don't think anything else in their deck is capable of doing it here. Or removal spell, removal spell. That's fine. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so maybe the play with Questing Beast instead of Coco was a little too aggressive, but again, opponent was mulliganed and very low on resources in hand. I think that means we're supposed to take it to him. We are the beatdown after all. Okay, 2-0. One more. Okay, we have a Steelleaf Champion on turn 2 on the play. Doesn't get much better than that. That's going to get muted, though. Ooh. Oh, okay. Gilded Goose. So probably food, although basic forest in food is a little strange. In any case, we're going to play Steelleaf Champion. Because a lot of their stuff can't block it. We also have Beseju to kill a Witch's Oven. Oh, interesting. So it's like Gruul. Maybe. Could be Jund missing black, I guess. Nope, it's food. It's Jund. So, just going to attack with the Steelleaf Champion and hold up company. We could Beseju the trail, but I don't think so. I think Beseju is much better against like a Witch's Oven. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, yep. The 2-2 from that doesn't block Steelleaf Champion. Mayhem Devil's good. Okay, so Mayhem Devil will target Llanowar Elves. We'll tap it in response. I want them to make their Trail of Crumbs decision before they know what we hit off company. Is there anything I could do that would pump it? I guess I could hit another Kenra. So I guess that's a reason to do this. We don't. Instead, we hit Pelt Collector Ooze. Ooze seems good against like the cat. We're going to have difficulty growing the pelt collector. I think it's these two. Find another company. Honestly, that's really good. So I think we start with Kenra. And we'll pump the ooze. Swing. It's a draw. We draw land, unfortunately. Okay, and I think we're just supposed to say go here. Hold up the ooze. The oven's not a threat until they play something that they can meaningfully sacrifice to it. Steel Leaf Champion is just a house. Yeah, we got there. Nice. Okay. So against what is, yeah, Jund Food. They did find the black in the end. Unlicensed Hearse seems reasonable, if not spectacular. Shaper Sanctuary seems really, really good against Mayhem Devil bullshit. So I'm fine with that. What's bad against them? Anything 1 toughness is, like, suspicious. I feel like Ronus is going to have difficulty attacking, so I think I'm okay cutting him, her? Not sure. Steel Leaf Champion is outstanding. Questing Beast is good at, like, cutting through the cat. Like, it gets around their blocking plan. So maybe I want some number of those. Is the hearse actually any good? You know, actually, I think it's kind of not. Like, the cat's never going to end up in the graveyard without the ability to immediately bring it right back. I don't think I want the hearse. Kenra seems fine. It's a grindy matchup. I want the 2-for-1. Primal Might seems pretty important against, like, Mayhem Devil. One more cut. I guess it's a Pelt Collector. Just because the 1 toughness sucks so much. Maybe it's 2 of them and bring in the Great Henge. They might not have a great way to deal with it. They are running probably Binding the Old Gods. I think this is fine. On the play, I think I bring back more. I think I bring the Pelt Collectors back in exchange for the Great Henge. All right. On the draw, but we have Elves into Old Growth Troll. Seems pretty good. Ooze is also pretty solid in the matchup. Oven, yeah. Shock in, say go. So probably, well, Bonecrusher Giant, they would just kill the elves on sight, right? What do they have? It feels like it has to be Bonecrusher. What else do they run? Yeah, any case. Wow. Disputing away the oven is aggressive. I don't know what that tells us about their hand. Okay. That's fine. Trail of Crumbs. Okay. We found Boseiju. Honestly, Boseiju is really good. Would love to get the Great Henge down. We're very close. If I can just play the Kazandu Mammoth. So the question here is, like, do I Boseiju away the Trail of Crumbs, or do I just, or do I play Kazandu Mammoth tapped, play Ooze, Or do I play Boseiju, Kazandu Mammoth with the hope that next turn I'll be able to get a 5-power creature in play and play the Great Henge? I think the fact that I have Coco means I'm just supposed to get to Company. So I think that means we ooze it up and we play the Mammoth tapped. Corvold's a good one. Probably in retrospect should have brought in the harpooners for that. Yeah. So the ooze threatens to become just a 3/3. Corvold's going to dominate the game if I don't find an answer. But I don't think there is one. I guess it's Pelt Collector, Old Growth Troll. And let them have Corvold for a turn. Yeah, definitely should have brought in the Crawl Harpooners. Binding, okay. Binding hits. I don't know, what does it hit? It's Troll, sure. So that grows the Pelt Collector. We had one forest in play, actually. That's kind of funny. Goose is good. Yeah, I don't know that we can beat this Corvold. Alright. So we have how much mana? We have 1, 3, 4, 5. So we can Henge plus Sanctuary. Plus eat something. That feels like it's got to be where it's at, right? And then we Company with Henge in play. Could even swing out, I suppose. We push through 3 points of damage. They eat the Old Growth Troll. Unfortunately, the second Old Growth Troll dying doesn't ramp us. But if it does, if they kill the Old Growth Troll, then we grow the Pelt Collector. We have Coco coming as well. I think we actually do attack. Yeah, let's do it. Go to 4. Pelt Collector grows. They are at effective 7 if they eat the food. Like, don't get me wrong, we're in trouble. But the game's not over. Coral goes to 6. We take it. Another trail. Okay. We find Steel Leaf Champion. How much mana do we have? We have 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, which is enough to Steel Leaf Champion plus Company. Let's start with Steel Leaf Champion. See what we draw. We find land. So no creatures in the bin. We swing. Could also power up Lair. Didn't consider that, but maybe we're supposed to. Lair would be for x equals 3. I think it's got to be Coco. Go to damage, because this is still lethal on board. So they're at 7. They find a cat. Okay, Corvold goes to 7. And I think now we're just supposed to jam company, because if we find Kenra, we win. And we did it. Nice. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty satisfying. Definitely mis-sideboarded. The Crawl Harpooner is obviously supposed to come in against Corvold, and I just didn't consider that for some reason. But overall, pretty strong showing from the deck. That's a lot of beef. Obviously, the deck is a totally different beast when we draw Llanowar Elves versus when we don't. These Jund food decks are supposed to be really, really good against creature-based decks. But we have a lot of answers to that. Their Cat Oven plan can't block Steel Leaf Champion. They can't block Questing Beast. We have main deck Scavenging Oozes to like eat the graveyard. We have Shaper Sanctuary, which just annihilates Mayhem Devil. Ping my stuff to death. Yeah, Shaper Sanctuary is going to draw me a card each time. So overall, pretty happy with how the deck performed. Let me know what you guys thought about the deck in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Later.